Everyone, welcome to tonight's market review session with us at EasyFX. And if you're able to join us for our stream on, I think it was Thursday. Yeah, we had some very nice trades from Thursday that went our way. We had some nice trades also from last week's market review. I think that really played out well. So let's just look at what exactly we have for this week. So first off, let's look at the currency indices together. Right. So the reason why we're looking at the currency indices is just to be able to understand how exactly we expect individual currencies to act during the course of the week. All right. We want to know if, for example, the dollar to be strong. All right. So if we expect that the dollar is strong, then in relation to other commodities, we expect that something like Gbpusd or Eurusd, all of those other commodities will most likely sell. All right. Now it doesn't always work like that. All right. One of the essences, or one of the important things that you have to also look at is relative strength. All right, when it comes to the chart, exactly, strength is relative, especially when it comes to forex. Strength is relative. Now, what does that mean? For most commodities, or for most currency pairs, you have something against something. So, for example, you can have the US dollar against the Canadian dollar. Right. So if you analyze the chart, for example, and you're expecting the US dollar to gain strength, and you also analyze the chart and you're expecting the Canadian dollar to gain strength, all right, you would now say, oh, I'm expecting that USD card should sell or you should buy. All right, that's what I mean by you have to also consider relative strength. All right, so how exactly is the strength of this when it compares to, all right, that's what I mean by relative strength. So let's just go into what exactly we're looking out for on USD, on DX, rather, the US dollar currency index. So this is it on the 1 hour, the daily time frame. All right, and let me just zoom out here. You can see that for a while we've not actually had any, so to speak, clear direction, right, on the DXY, right, for this is last year. You've seen that price hasn't broken above this high here, it hasn't broken below this low. All right, but if you look at the most recent structure, right, that we have, what you would notice is that, for example, let's call this a low, high, higher low, right, higher high, higher low, lower high, right, lower low, lower high. Let's call this one the lower low, right? Let's just assume that this is the lower high. Now, what this tells you is that to some extent you might be watching out for, in a very broad time frame. Please let's ensure that our mics are muted. Timmy Turner. I'll have to. Okay, you've even muted yourself. Thank you very much. All right. So, as I was saying earlier, if you're looking at it from that point of view, right, you'd be tempted to say that, oh, DXY from the daily time frame is bearish. However, one thing that you now have to watch again is for this recent structure. All right, so I'm going to go now to the 4 hour time frame also. All right, so just show what exactly I'm seeing on the 4 hour time frame. Now, if I'm looking at the most recent structure from the 4 hour time frame, this is what I will be seeing instead. That we had a high, a low, a lower high, a lower low, a lower high, a lower, let's just call this one a lower low. All right, a lower high and the lower low. Right, and then price is doing this. Right, now what this would mean is that there is a potential for this being our break or a change of character anyway. All right, but price essentially broke that high. All right, so what exactly can we interpret this as? So don't worry, I know I'm saying a lot of story, all right, because we are going somewhere, right? So what exactly is this? What is that? It's very likely that we might still get to see some level of strength from the US dollar overall, right? But one thing I want to be very cautious. Now, one thing that we know that moves the market is liquidity. All right, that's the major driving force for anything on your chart is liquidity. What is liquidity? How exactly is money moving? Moving money, moving cash, right? All right, so what exactly is what can attract price, all right, towards a certain direction? We're looking at points of liquidity, right? And this is one here. So you see places that you have your highs, you have lows. Most of those places are very interesting points of liquidity. All right, you can see that we have this imbalance here. All right, that can also act as a point as a point for price to come and sweep liquidity from. Now, from what I'm seeing personally, right, I'm expecting that price or DX rather would still push towards the upside. So something towards this end, right? So let me delete this one. So I'm expecting DX to still push towards. I want to be very careful, right? Because where we are currently in right now, or this region, let me give you the coordinates around like 102.967 and 103.556. This whole region right now is, I won't say dicey, all right, but you can see that the reactions in that region are showing a sort of slowdown in price or slowdown for price. So you can see that for this region, when price got here, we didn't exactly have the best of movements in this point. All right, so I just want to watch out for how exactly price acts out. But overall, I'm still expecting that price would push up. All right, because I've not seen any reason to believe that, oh, maybe there's a rejection or something pushing price towards the downside, in any of those forms, as it is in any of those forms. So let's just watch out for that. I think for this week, we can still watch out for DXY to still gain some level of strength. All right. And now, what will be the validation for this? If by the time market opens, I get to see price possibly come towards this end, all right, and clear this low. All right, again, liquidity, right? So if I get to see price clear this low, then definitely what that would mean is that my buyers also change, and that would mean the prices of DX. Hello, can you hear me? Sorry, please, if you can hear me, just maybe unmute your mic and just tell me you can hear me. And you can see my screen also. Or you can just drop a message in the chat box. Let me just confirm that. Hello, please. Can we hear me? Can we hear me? Please, you can hear me. Just unmute your mic and just quickly tell me you can hear me. Let me just make sure that. All right, and you can see my chat.
Yes, I can.
All right, thank you very much. Sorry about that. I had let's just call it a technical glitch for a short while. All right, so that's just what I'm watching for DXY, right? So more inclined to lean towards DXY, the US dollar rather gaining some level of strength during the course of the week. So I don't want to take too much time on the indices because we're actually looking at commodities also tonight. So let's just quickly go on. I'll do my best to be a lot faster now. All right, so let's look at BXY also. So for BXY, I think we can watch out for BXY to also be bullish. But let me quickly give us one or two pointers. All right, now from just what we can see here, oh sorry, I already removed this from auto. From just what we can see here, I can see that overall this is looking at this locally bullish. All right, so we see something, I see something like this in the practical, basic example of impulse retracement. All right, but what we are seeing here right now is that price has neared the previous low, which is around here. All right, now one thing that interests me on this is that this was a previous gap where that price came, acted as a supply zone, push price towards the downside, resistance, push price towards the downside. Price broke it. So I want you to follow me closely here. Price broke this point, right, and then came back to retest it before giving us a new impulse towards the upside. Now price is coming back towards that end, and now for this basic scenario, for me anyway, I'm expecting that price should still get a second rejection towards the upside. Then we're going out to the 4-hour time frame, right? I'm still watching out for price to get that second rejection. I'm hoping, let me put it like that, for the fact that number one, this is a previous low that should act as a support, right? And this is a fairly strong pivot region, right? I'm hoping for that to still work out. However, I want to be very, very cautious. So I'll give you the two scenarios, right? But overall, I'll tell you what exactly I'm expecting as my own personal bias. My personal bias is bullish, right, for BXY, the Great British Pound Currency Index. However, I want to be watchful. If at all we get to see that when market opens, we get to see a candle, maybe, I don't think we're going to see any sort of manipulation like that. But, we get to see a candle that closes below this point, then definitely we'll call this, a change of character here. But I don't think that should happen. I am, for many, many reasons, I am more inclined towards the previous thing I said for price to be bullish, right? Also just continue towards the upside. So that basically is what I'm expecting during the course of the week for BXY also. So let's look at AXY. Don't worry, we're going to go into the indices very soon. Sorry, into the commodities very soon. So don't feel bored yet. Right. So for AXY, let me see. For AXY, I'm also watching out for an overall, bullish continuation on AXY. But what I want to see possibly, all right, now this is a pivot region. All right, so that's a region basically that we've had, multiple reactions from on a much more lower time frames. All right, but this region here, I want to see price possibly push up a little bit. You've seen some level of rejection from here. All right, I think this was something that we marked out in the last market review with our Fibonacci. Right, so you can just refer back to that if you want to know how exactly we drew this. But all the same, I'm just watching out for price to come. I'm watching out. This is telling you that you buy to sell to buy, right? But I want to watch out for that weakness from here. But the reason why I drew it like this on my chart is because I'm watching out for how exactly AXY would act throughout the week. So even though I'm overall bullish, I expect that, for example, maybe when market opens and we get to see price, push into this point, maybe towards the end, towards Tuesday, Wednesday, we might get to see some level of weakness. Or before maybe then, towards the end of the week, maybe Thursday, Friday, we get to see AXY regain its trend and continue towards the upside. But for whatever case it is, I'm overall bullish for now, at least for the meantime, on AXY. So I hope that is clear. CXY also, I think I'm bearish on CXY. So we've had relatively equal highs around this point. Your letter M sort of pattern, double top that everybody likes. Sorry, that me I like, him not everybody likes, right? So I'm watching out for basically I'm watching out for CXY to still drop. I think we should still get a lot more of that to still happen during the course of the week. I have reason to believe that this guy should still be massively bearish overall. But now that I'm looking at it, I'm seeing a possibility. All right, so let me just explain what that possibility is quickly. All right, so I'll draw this line towards this end. Let me delete this one. So I want to explain what that possibility is. Now, even though I'm overall, the reason why I'm giving you my overall biases for this currency is, all right, it's not as if I'm giving you any trade idea for this one, but this is just my overall bias, right? My overall bias is bearish, all right, but of course, in the bearish trend, for example, you have impulse, all right, which is your move towards the downside, and a retracement, which is your move towards the upside. Now, usually when I get to see a double top, or in what this is exactly, all right, I usually expect that eventually price will want to come back, retest, the neckline, or that pointy end of the letter M, right, before continuing towards the downside. This is what I usually expect, and this is what I usually get to see, right? So even though I'm overall bearish, there's also a possibility on CXY. So all that is clear anyway. I'm just giving you an idea of what exactly, or how exactly I look at the chart. So last but not the least, for the currency pairs we'll be looking at tonight is the JPY basket. One of everybody's favorite, I think. Everybody likes JPY pairs. JPY pairs are very, very interesting. So for JPY basket, I think I'll just watch out for this guy to still drop. Overall, I am extremely bearish on JPY basket. Extremely bearish. Overall. And not from when I say overall now, I'm not talking about from the 4 hours or the daily time frame. I think from like the weekly, monthly time frame. This guy looks like he just wants to keep dropping for life. But all the same, let's just watch out for JPY basket to still drop. All right. So maybe Monday, Tuesday, we get to see that weakness on JPY basket. Then from Wednesday, Thursday, we get to see, JPY basket gain some more strength. All right. So all that is clear for, the indices. So let's just go into proper charts right now. What exactly we expect different commodities to do. Are you ready, guys? So let's go into it. So I'm going to be starting from the daily. I'm basically expecting to work out for the whole week. I'm not going to be going too low. I will not be going to maybe like 30 minutes or the 1 hour time frame. So I'll just stop maybe on the 2-hour time frame. All right. So maybe daily, 4 hours, 2 hours time frame, and then we call it an evening for each of them anyway. So let's look at this now. Overall, from what you can see on the daily time frame, gold is extremely bullish. Right, and it's better to trade when you get to that prices in an uptrend. It's better to trade according to, the trend. All right, don't trade against the trend. All right, counter trend trading. That's a tongue twister. All right, it's very, very risky. But all the same, we expect that most of us here, of course, we are retail traders, right? You might not necessarily be able to hold a trade for 2 weeks, or let me not say 2 weeks. You might not be able to hold a trade for 2 months, 3 months, all right, or to be a position trader, all right. So what exactly should we then watch out for, currently for this week at least on gold? So for this one, because gold has been doing its own misbehaviors, quote unquote, of recent. So I'm going on as low. Sorry, for maybe even the 1 hour for this one to explain what I'm seeing right now. All right, so we got to see that price broke above or broke out of this range. I think this was last week or so. Yeah, we got to see that price broke out of this range. We got the retest of that. We got to see price continue its push towards the upside. Now, for me, I'm watching out for the possibility of us actually still get to see price go down. Price, or at least gold, go down. So let me see if I can get a better look. I'm very, very sorry for the multiple lines that you can see. I'm going to do my best to clean them up right now. I just want to see that possibility. All right, so let me delete this one too. Very good. So just stay with me, right? So now this whole region I have marked, that I have put these lines there, right? I purposely rather didn't use, the rectangle tool, all right? And the reason why I didn't use the rectangle tool is because this is a region of interest for me, all right? So between 2661.65 and 269 is a current region of interest for me. Why? Because I'm watching out for the possibility of gold rather, let's say USD, to still continue bearish. Now, why am I saying that? From here, you can see that this was the last high we had, right? And then price did this. Now, from this point that I am here to here, I'll just call it a swing move towards the downside, right? And then we're seeing price coming towards this upside again. All right, so what I am watching out for will be something like this. I hope that is clear. And I know it looks weird, but yeah, that exactly is what I'm watching out for. Now, one thing that we can then do to be able to measure out how possible this is could be using our Fibonacci. All right, from the previous low or previous high rather to the point that we call our previous low. And you can see that currently this region that we are in is a very, very interesting spot, at least for us. All right, in our Fibonacci, right, somewhere around here. So let me delete the Fibonacci so that will be big. All right, so what this means basically is that I'm watching out for gold to give us a drop from where we are right now. So what I'm just watching out for, my bias currently is between this is on between, let's say, 2656.15 and this is quite large anyway, 2671.79. All right, so from this point to just this high is what I'm watching out for to act as the summation of my supply region to push price towards the downside. So I'm bearish on gold this week. That basically is what I'm saying. All right, so possibly when we get to market open, we might get to see price push up a little bit more. Possibly. All right, because normally when market opens, you might get to see some level of manipulations. All right, but let's just watch out for how that would fare out. Right. So forgive me, I'm saying something interesting here. I don't think I got to see this before, so I'm just going to quickly mark it out. There's a lot larger than what I would be comfortable with, but let me just mark it out still. So yeah, so let's work with this. So now this is why I just marked out this region basically is because I want to see what price does here. Now remember I said that overall, you look at it on the daily time frame, I said that gold is looking bullish. All right, but I'm watching out for that possibility for a drop. But what I'm going to preferably do, all right, for me at least, because I'm more of a conservative trader, I might want to watch out for price to do something towards its end, right? Maybe come back and then drop. So I might be watching out for price to get into this zone, and then I'll look out for maybe those short scalps or buys on gold. So I hope that is clear anyways. The reason why I marked it out, this area out, because it's a pivot region. And then again, I'm just going to be watching out for lower time frame confirmation. So maybe a break of structure on the lower time frame, or if I get to see, a change of character on the lower time frame, or if I get to see maybe a sort of rejection candle being formed on the 15 or the 5 minutes, or even the 3 minutes time frame, or maybe even an engulfing candle, whatever entry confirmation that you might use, right, in lower time frames before you just look for on gold. So that's what I'm watching out for currently on gold. So I'm very sorry I know I've taken so much time on this. So let's quickly look at Gbpusd. All right, so for Gbpjpy, it's really already 9:26. So I'm going to do my best to pick up the pace now. All right, so this is for Gbpjpy. I think I'm watching out for Gbpjpy also to be bearish. All right, you've seen that price is in a descending channel. All right, so that just gets to tell me that currently I should still watch out for price to push down. And from what I can see right here, from what I can see right here, price doesn't have any reason to break above this trend line and then maybe give me a retest of, or for any reason, push towards the upside. From what I can see right now, so for price to give that clear break, all right, from this trend line here. So that clear continuation from this trend line towards the downside, and then we'll just continue for the sales on Gbpusd. So I'm bearish also on Gbpusd. Right, so like I said, I'm going to try my best to pick up the pace now because I don't want to take too much of our time this evening. I know some of us are married, want to go and meet our wives, or maybe you just want to even take out some time and look at the chart on your own, or maybe tomorrow is Monday, you want to just rest. Don't worry, I'm not here to take you from your wife or take you from your rest. Don't worry. All right, so for Gbpjpy this week, I think I'm also bullish. All right, on Gbpjpy. I'm watching out for a sell to buy movement. All right, this is my preferred demand zone: 194.203 and 193.947. All right, so for you as a retail trader, by all means, once you get to see price coming to this zone, all right, just look out for your lower time frame confirmations, like I said earlier, and as one of my other guys would say, NACAM 500 lot size. Do you understand that? So that's just what I'm currently seeing on Gbpjpy. Very simply. Let me see. Do I have anything for us on Ucad? No. There's some commodities I do tend to leave once in a while. Okay, Gbpcad. There's some commodities I tend to leave for some weeks sometimes. Once I get to see that they are not somehow aligning with what I would like or what I would prefer, I'll just give them sabbatical leave. Ucad is one of them for the meantime, but I think I'll still come back to it this week eventually. All right, so that being said, let's look at Gbpcad. I think for Gbpcad, as you can see on my chart here, I'm watching out for this to be bearish. Also, this would act as a shoulder region. All right, so let me quickly explain what I mean by that. This would be your form of or a form of the head and shoulder pattern, right? And then price simply dropping, and then you're having all of these current movements. It's very likely that price is just coming towards this region again. All right, towards this region around this right shoulder here, or this left shoulder region also, for that sell move to happen, right? So that's for currently on Gbpcad. My supply region or my supply zone is between 1.81110 and 1.80567. I'll come again: 1.81110 and 1.80567. That's what I'm watching out for. So I'm just watching out for price basically to get there before I enter any trade, and then watch out for my sells on Gbpcad. So I hope that is clear. Also, let me check. Do I have something on GA? Yes, I do. All right, so for GBAUD, now this is one thing that we have to be watchful, all right, about. A lot of times you get to see that correlation. When you say correlation, you expect that if gold is selling, then EU should be selling, and GE should be selling. It gets to play out like that sometimes, and then sometimes it doesn't necessarily get to play out like that. All right, and I think for me, this might be one of those situations that might happen where it might not actually get to play out like that. But all the same, let me just give you what I'm watching out for currently on GPUD. So this was the previous support here. We're expecting this support price to eventually drop as low as here. All right, it's between 1.92119 and 1.91669. All right, so I'm watching out for price to still drop a lot on GPUD into this region, and then we can get to see a buy from there. So I think this is fairly explanatory. This region here is a pivot region for me. That's what I'm expecting. And maybe when we get the price come here, we might be able to see some buys. We might, all right, but I don't have any idea of where those buys will start from. So I'm just watching out for more lower time frame setups, maybe on the 5 minutes or 3 minutes, just for 15 minutes rather, for just some quick scalps during the course of the week. So, but this is what I'm watching out for overall, GPAD for this week, right? So let's go on. Do I have anything for us on USDCHF? Yes, I do. Oh, interesting. Yes, I do. So for USDCHF, basically, I'm watching out for this buy. I think we talked about this break and retest sort of thing. So let me just quickly explain that to us again. Usually when you get to that price has done this sort of pattern, or which is the fairly basic form of your AMD pattern, where you get to see price accumulate in a range for quite some time, then might break out, which is most likely usually fake out. Then you call that a manipulation, right? And then price will go in the reverse direction. So this will be a range, right? Let me reduce this guy small. So this will be a range. So this will be the accumulation. This move here will be your manipulation. This will be a distribution, all right? And the same thing applies, in the reverse case, maybe you have something like this, right? And then price does this, and then eventually drops, right? So these are just some of the scenarios that you get, when you're looking at your AMD, your natural or basic AMD pattern. Now, the reason why I said that is because I want you to watch what happened here. What we got to see was that price ranged, right? It was that accumulation phase. Price finally broke out of that range. Now, what price usually does when it breaks out of range is to retest. Usually, price tries its best to retest that, maybe just the upper limit or the lower limit, depending on whereby it broke towards of that range before it continues in its overall move. So you've seen that price has actually broken out, right, giving us a retest of that upper region of the range, and then we've seen that one towards the upside. So basically, I'm just watching out for that will still continue, that bullish move to still continue off of USD CHF. All right, so for me, I'm tempted to say that we might, well, I don't know. Usually when market opens, all right, a lot of times we might get some manipulations to push price to where it should not be, all right, but all the same, I think we might get to see some level of push from where we are right now. All right, so basically on this USD CHF, I might, if you get to see buy entries anyway, please by all means take it. If you are lucky enough, you might get to see price push maybe towards this 0.85514. All right, if I get to see price come, just a little bit lower like that, so somewhere like this, all right, then definitely I'll be looking out for, buy entries for me, all right, on USD CHF. So all that is clear also for USD CHF. Quickly, let's go to AUD. All right, so for AUD, basically what we've said already for GU, I think something similar to what we said for gold also. We're watching out for this guy to give us a little bit of a drop. All right, this again is a pivot region. All right, so we've seen that multiple times when price came here, we had this initial break below, price came here, pushed price down a little bit, came back, pushed price down again, came back, pushed price down again, and has come back, and it's looking like, oh, I'm going to still push you back down. Right, so I think it should still hold anyway off of AUD, and then we might get to see, that drop just stay on AUD. So I'm watching out for that, weakness or some level of weakness also on AUD. All right, and let me just say this here as a disclaimer: an invalidation of this for me would be if I get to see price break above here. All right, so that's why I will tell you that because price has gotten to your POI, does not mean that price should react on your POI. Right, what's your point of order blocks are just regions where you should expect price to react from. But because you've done an order block does not mean that your order block should hold. It doesn't mean that your area of interest or your point of interest should hold. So what you should watch out for is what exactly is price telling me when it gets there? What exactly is the candle that is, being created when price gets there? What is it telling me? So I would usually advise, don't be the type of person that will just predict and try to predict, react. All right. If someone chose you, it's not as if you are working on the road and you, like for example, let's say you're a boxer. When you're working on the road, because you're a boxer, you don't want to put your hand on your head and say, I'm guarding. There really is no need for that. A boxer's job is to react. So if you see someone that's trying to attack him, then he reacts. That's self-defense. That basically is what you should do as a trader. So when you get to that price of coming to your POI, just watch out for what exactly price is doing. That's what I was talking about, lower time frame confirmations, right? Those are extremely, extremely important in trading. So don't forgive my story right now. But what I'm just trying to say is that I'm still watching out for what price wants to do here for the sale. Once that this one gets broken, however, then this is what I'll be expecting. Simple. I'll just watch out for a break, retest, and then entering. That's if that, and the only reason why I'm saying this is because I expect that when market opens or during the time the market wants to open, anything can happen. Manipulations can occur that will give gaps in prices, and then you just see price. You just see that currently the price that will be being quoted on the ADS, it will just be way off expectations, right? So that's just why I'm giving us that there. So don't mind me. All right, quickly let's look at Euro USD. Also, I think for Euro USD, I'm expecting the same exactly. Sincerely for me, I'm watching out for the sell already from where price is. Let me go up to the forward. Okay, I think we'll see from here. I'm expecting that sell from where price currently is. All right, but I just want to be careful. I want to be very, very watchful again. We might get to see price go as high as maybe this range here. Right, so maybe we price and push up into the overall. I'm still watching out for that sell. In case you're just asking for the coordinates for the region, let me give us also 1.09815 and 1.09605. So I'm watching out for this guy to still drop also. And I think for me, at least I'm watching out for that drop to last as far as around let me see, this is around 1.08802 or 1.08831, rather 1.08831. All right, so that basically is what I'm watching out for on Euro USD, also that drop. All right, so that is clear for EU. Let me quickly look at UG. Do we have anything on UG? No, nothing I'm really, really interested in. All right, so GBPNZD. Give me a minute. Sorry, I'm just seeing your message far. Don't let me pronounce the name so that I'm not gonna enter trouble. So from what you just showed us about, well, you sent this 10 minutes about all this, but what you about, it's probably bullish, right? No, that's not what I'm saying. Let me quickly go back to gold and we'll come back to the GBPNZD. That's not what I am saying. I'm watching out for the possibility of us to get a drop off of gold. I'm watching out for the possibility of us to get a drop off of gold from where we currently are in. All right, I think you dropped a message saying that you were planning on closing. Okay, you're asking for the expectations of gold since you had a bullish position running. I think what you can do is to be safe, is to close maybe half of your position or just close partials on your position. All right, so that no matter what, all right, you would have secured profits. The reason why I'm saying is because this current region that we are in on gold is actually a very, very strong region where we could get rejections from, and I want to be very, very cautious. I don't want any. I don't want to take any chance with gold. All right, currently gold is in basically, and this is one thing I've told many of my friends. Gold currently is in uncharted regions. We've never had in the history of years to this current price range, right? Never. Gold is in very uncharted regions. So you don't have any historical data from maybe like 2012 that you can look at and say, oh, when price came here before, this is what happened, right? You don't have any of that. So going based off of street technicals, I feel like we should get to see that drop off of gold. So what I would advise you is possibly close partials on your, gold trade and just have that, have your profit secured. All right, and then you can just leave maybe a little bit of a position left and then just watch out for how exactly that plays out. For me, however, I think I'm watching out for bearishness on gold. I might be wrong anyway, but I don't think I'm wrong. All right, I'm watching out for bearishness. At least even to this point, I'm just watching out for that on gold. All right, so that's just basically what I'm watching out for. Now, the reason why I'm saying this is because, or the reason why I'm watching out, I'm being this careful. All right, like I said earlier, number one, gold has got into uncharted regions. Number two, what I'm seeing right now is this candle formation. All right, this candle here. All right, basically one of the few things that are making me feel like, oh, we might get to see this guy drop. All right, you see that it looks like we started a short bearish retracement, right, on gold. So I just want to watch out for how that will play out at least. How that will play out at the least. Right, so just be very, very cautious. That's what I'll just tell you on gold right now. Be very, very cautious. You have made your profits, just quickly secure it. Secure the bag. Trading is not about, well, let me not sit down. Go ahead. That's just basically my advice for you on gold. So I said, quickly let's look at GBPNZD. And for GBPNZD this week, I'm watching out for the sell to buy movements, right? Let me just give us my preferred buy region. All right, this is between 2.13256 and 2.13038. 2.13256 and 2.13038. So simply put, I'm watching out for price to still drop. All right, and then I'll get to look for more buys, from there on GBP and ZB. With these keywords of mine, I feel like I've looked at all the commodities I wanted to look at. Oh, I'm watching out for a sell on EA2. But the reason why I don't necessarily want to talk about this is what I'm just going to advise you, all right, or advise you to do for Euro AM, Euro AD, because I still want to look out for better entries. All right, is when you get after price opens, all right, if you get to see entries for sales based off of your own entry criteria, all right. Now the reason why I'm saying this is because I believe that we don't analyze the charts in the same way. Right, I believe that we don't look at the charts in the same way. I have a way I look at the charts. I have my own method of interpreting what exactly I'm seeing on the charts. All right. So, but one thing I can tell you for sure is that we should still watch out for possible bearishness on Euro AD. All right. So, by all means, if by the time you do your own analysis, you get to see entry confirmations for sales of Euro AD, I think it's safe to say you can knock it 500 lots at your own risk, of course. But yeah, you can easily do that. All right. So. Let me see. I have something of us on Eurocard, 7% Euro AD. I'm watching out for this guy to be bearish. All right, but most likely I want to see price still push up. It has not actually touched the zone. I'm watching out for that sell off. All right, so this is between 1.51192 and 1.50845. Right, the price has actually not gotten into that the supply zone for me, but I want to be very cautious. All right. I don't want to be left behind, even though price can decide to whine me, but I don't want to be left behind because this looks like a very interesting spot for price to, sweep liquidity from, just push price a little bit more towards the upside and then get to the sell from there. But I'm much overall on Eurocard also I'm bearish. Overall on Eurocard I'm bearish. So let me see. Okay, very good. See this guy. See this ADNZD. I want to report him to you guys. He has been very, very annoying to me, but it's very, very interesting also. All right, so For ADNZD, watch out for sales when you get to see market open. Well, I'm just going to quickly note. I'm going to do my best to explain what exactly I have on my chart. All right, so I'm watching out for buys now. Even though I have points of entries, like I said earlier, even though I have points of entries, minus the fact I have point of entries, I have entry criteria. So you can have entry points, and then you should have entry criteria. So your entry point basically are where I'm expecting price to come to, and then I can enter for the trade. The entry criteria, what are the reasons for me to enter for that trade now? All right, so for me, basically for both of these points, I'm watching out for lower time frame confirmations, like maybe if I get to get a rejection, or if I get to see a double break of structure on the lower time frame, or if I get to see a change of character on the lower time frame, a confirmed change of character on the lower time frame, maybe it's 5 or 15 minutes. I will most likely be entering for buys off of AD and ZD. All right, so my point one at least will be 1.10153, and the second point will be around here 1.09, between 1.09530 and 1.09373 off of AD and ZD. So that is clear. All right, because like I said earlier, I think I'm a bit more conservative a lot of times. This second one seems a lot more plausible. Reason being that we might get to see price still drop a little bit, come out sweep liquidity from this low here. All right, that'll be prices. That'll be a liquidity sweep region rather, and the price will just do that and then come here before we get our buy. So that's what I'm watching out for. In case you are wondering why exactly did I mark out this region, I want to know why I marked it out. I'll tell you the secret. It's simply a pivot region. All right, so you can look at our videos on our channel to find out how exactly we mark out pivot regions. All right, so but yeah, that's what I'm watching out for. And last but not the least, for the night, I think, and I'm very sure that this is the last, but not this should be the last. Let me just confirm. Yeah, that basically is the last. So AD card, and then we'll call it a session. So for AD card, I'm also bearish on the AD card, at least up to this point. At least up to this point. I don't see price. I don't see an actual rejection or a more proper rejection from where we're going to see price rather. Sorry about that. So currently my supply zone is between 0.93008 and 0.92797. Yeah. So I'm watching out for that drop from there on AED card. And I'm very sure that this should play out anyway. All right. I've seen that currently the move that brought price there, or the amount of volume or the amount of strength I've got to see that brought price here has actually reduced, or it actually leads me to believe that, we may get to see price actually drop. And we have many points like this low, this low, this low for price to be interested in, sweeping to aid it in its move towards the downside. All right, so that basically is what I'm watching out for also on AED card. Ladies and gentlemen, with these viewers of mine, we've come to the end of tonight's session. Thank you very much for joining us for tonight's session. Please, like I usually advise, all right, do your best. Thanks, sir. NZD-USD. Right when I said I wanted to end it, I'm just saying this NZD-USD. All right, so let me just do that. But I think, if I'm going strictly based on correlation, sell. If I'm going strictly based on correlation, all right, I'll expect that this guy should sell. But let's just quickly look at this together. Just give me a minute. Let him cook now. So just forgive me, I'm just joining up my multiple lines like that. So basically for NZD, like I said, I'm just going strictly based on correlation. All right, so I'm watching out for that also to give us that possibility for a sell. This point already, looks very interesting actually. Here, which if I was going to mark out structure, right, this would have been one of my major lows, something like this. Let me use this one instead. Right, so something like this. So this type of thing, this will have been my last previous low, or my last major low rather. Right, and currently price is actually in that region. So I think we might get to see this guy also drop a lot more. Okay, we should get to see this guy drop a lot more towards the downside. Yeah. So I think this region should still hold. This is around 0.61375 and 0.61200. So I think we should get to see price and just give us a continuation of the drop. All right, and I'm also just adding out with what I have seen from correlation. All right, so we should get to see that drop also on NZD/USD. I hope that is clear. I want to pronounce your name, but I am so afraid of pronouncing it. The name is I'm not good at pronunciation sometimes. So yeah, all that is clear, sir. Omar. All right, so yeah, that's what I'm watching out for NZD/USD. Again, because price has gotten there does not mean I'm going to look out for it. So let me just give you this also. If you get that this zone gets broken, it's very, very simple. You know to go far. If this zone gets broken, just simply look for a break and retest of any point in that zone. Just look for a break and retest. So maybe this. If you get to it, you just get to that price opens or market opens and price does this. By all means, look for a break and retest trade for a buy and then go off of that for the NZD/USD. But I am more towards watching out for this currently. All right, so that is clear for everyone. Claire, thanks. God bless you. God bless you to Sir Oma again. All right, so thank you for joining us for tonight's market review session. I'm very sure you've gained, one or two. All right, like I have said multiple times, please practice proper risk management. Because price has gotten to your zone, it does not mean that you should react from your zone. Make sure you're working based off of your own entry criteria and it's a very profitable week. All right, so we're going to put this video on our YouTube channel. Please do also like once the video is up. All right, I'll do my best to send the link. Like, share, subscribe, and all of those useful things. And I'll catch you guys on Thursday, I think. That's when we have our next session. I'll catch you guys then. All right, take care and have a wonderful night's rest, everyone. Bye, guys.